He is our Vice President of Education for our company, MXI, and he has a degree in toxicology, which is the study of pharmacology drugs. Is that how you say it? He's also a naturopath. So you're talking one extreme to the other extreme. He is board certified on the Board of Anti-Aging for the United States. He has created over 150 products. He has published the cure for malaria. He is world-renowned for his wisdom, and we are thrilled to have somebody of his caliber here to share his knowledge with you. I would like to welcome Dr. Gordon Pedersen.
Thank you. I'm delighted to be here. I had some fun trip experiences, as always. I got to come through customs, and I brought a bunch of books with me. But I wrote on that customs form that I had them, so they were just fine with that. But I didn't declare that I had cufflinks on. So they set off the metal detector and took them from me. So I had paper clips holding my cufflinks on. But I just thought you'd get a kick out of that because I did. Now, how many of you ever saw Superman fly around the world backwards to try to turn back the hands of time? Did you ever see that? Yeah. And how many of you have seen that show Avengers? Yeah, well, I just had dinner with some of your leaders just a little while ago, and as I was looking around the table, I thought, you know, they could dress up like the Avengers and we could have the chocolate Avengers right here now. Because they're superheroes in my eyes. I hope you recognize how fun they are, but how much they get done and how well they are organized. With that, I'd like to help you recognize that we're here to live a younger life. Live younger with chocolate. And I thought, that's an oxymoron. And then I got done with my presentation and went, no, that's not. That's the absolute truth. So if you came tonight to live a younger life, you're in the right place. And I'm going to review the facts by which Harvard, Stanford, the Journal of American Medical Association, the New England Journal of Medicine have actually published why this dark chocolate has such benefits for your heart, for your brain, for your arteries, and many, many more. So with that, we're going to move quickly, and we're going to move very quickly, because if we get moving fast enough, we start to turn back the hands of time, right? I know, maybe not. Okay, today it is expected and estimated that the anti-aging market is a $160 billion market. See, dollars are easy to count. People who are alive and in that category aren't so easy to count until they buy something. Now, with that in mind, it is expected to nearly double every 3 to 4 years, because you've got people that are gaining age and we're not dying as quickly as we used to. In fact, weight loss is part of anti-aging medicine. And you've seen it. As soon as we take 20 pounds off, our joints don't hurt so much. We become more active. We have more energy. So weight loss is a part of anti-aging medicine. In this quote, it's one of my favorite quotes. I'll try not to trip on that again. It says, cumulative cellular damage determines a person's age at death. So as we accumulate cellular damage after damage after damage after damage, our organs and our cells of our organs stop functioning until that determines when we just can't function anymore. And that determines our age at death. And I thought about that for a while. And I watched people who die many, many times from a disease, and they were much too young to die. I did cardiac rehabilitation therapy for many years. And I saw people that came in, and many, many times they were not sick enough to die, and they died anyway. And I saw it start in their brain. They went, oh well, my heart shot, I just can't possibly make it. And I saw other people who had no reason to be alive. They had so much heart damage and so many clogged arteries and so much problem. And 20 years later, they were still as happy as they were before. So I want you to know that part of this wellness, this program, is all beginning in your brain, in your mind, in your mindset, and it's an attitude. And anti-aging consists of stopping cellular damage with antioxidants. So, all of you who want to write down all these quotes, you go ahead, but you don't have to because I videotaped all these slides for you. They're on a website called mydrchocolate.com, mydrchocolate.com. So you'll get a 5-minute quote here and a 4-minute quote there, and you'll get all of my slides that I already have. So you'll already have all of these quotes. In addition to that, all of these quotes are found in the book that just barely got released, and I wrote this just a little while ago, maybe 2 months ago. Live Young with Chocolate. Not only are the quotes in here, the story is in here, the philosophy's in here, the back 10 pages are nothing but medical references for you if you want to look at the references, and so are all the ways to test your body for its biological age. So all of these tools are available to you. Your job is to gather enough information from this discussion tonight to have 1-sentence summaries that you can pass on to your friends or that you can write down to inspire yourself. And you don't have to have the exact words I use, but you need the words that will help you understand what this is. With that in mind, reviewing and repairing the damage one cell at a reviving and repairing the damage one cell at a time with highly effective supplements is what we're doing. So I'm going to give you quotes, I'm going to show you pictures, I'm going to have testimonials, I'm going to give you all these different things so that when you're done you will have no objection to the statement that our healthy chocolate can be used not only in weight loss, but in capsule form and as chocolate to actually be a program of wellness, because we will eliminate the cause of cellular damage and prevent it from returning. You're made of billions of cells. Did you ever stop to try to count them? I didn't either, but that's a lot of cells, right? When they work together and they divide correctly, you are healthy. You see, some cells divide every 20 minutes, and you produce new cells, an exact copy. And if there's no free radicals present to try to damage the DNA, they do divide exactly perfectly. But free radicals from the sun, from the radiation, from the foods we eat, from the air we breathe, from the water we drink, can damage that duplication process and gum it up. In fact, how many of you remember what a VHS tape is? That always gets a laugh. Even when I try to tell a joke, I can't get a laugh, but that gets a laugh. VHS tape sometimes will have a really wonderful clip of Grandpa doing something really stupid at a family reunion. But everyone in the family has to have a copy, so we duplicate that tape. And then your sister has to have a duplication, and then your aunt, and then by the time we get to duplicating it, that last duplication sounds funny, is shaky, is jumpy, and the quality is totally gone. That's what happens to your cells when they duplicate in the presence of free radicals. We don't want that. We want to restore them to properly divide, because antioxidants give every cell in your body a second chance. That's a great idea, isn't it? How many women, how many of you want a second chance at anything in your life? Yeah. Men, I'm not even going to ask, but how many of you deserve 4th chances? Amen. I know where we're going with that one. Anti-aging effects occur when the amount of antioxidants that you take in exceed the amount of free radicals in your body. This is the balance of healing power, and it is that simple. In antioxidants must exceed what free radicals you're accumulating, because it's the free radical that wants to cause damage and will create a cascade of damage. But the free radical will bond with your antioxidant, making it permanently neutral, and you've prevented any of the damage. So, in a medical philosophy, as long as you're taking in more antioxidants than free radicals are being accumulated, you're not accumulating cellular damage, and your body is duplicating itself perfectly healthy. This is important because literally every 3 to 4 hours, you can take a chocolate and keep that balance of antioxidants higher than the free radical damage. So, with that in mind, it is possible to reverse and prevent the effects of aging. So says the New England Journal of Medicine, maybe the most credible journal in the medical world. And they say, the overall deterioration of the body that comes with growing old is not inevitable. We now realize that some aspects of it, meaning aging, can be prevented or reversed. Can we really turn back the hands of time? How about the whole arm of time? How about the whole body of time? Let's take a look at that. There's a medical specialty in anti-aging medicine called the American Academy of Anti-Aging Medicine. I'm a doctor and board certified in that area. To be in that, you have to be a medical doctor first, then you have to get a specialty, another 2 years of training, another 1,500 hours of internship. So this is a medical specialty, and by the way, it's the fastest growing arm of medicine in the world. More doctors pay their dues and sign up in this area of medicine than pay their dues to the AMA, the American Medical Association. That's an interesting thought. It's because we're turning our eyes to the future and seeing what we can become instead of just treating symptoms. In addition, there's thousands and thousands of studies documenting these ingredients that we're going to talk about tonight actually are anti-aging in nature. There's even a journal of anti-aging therapeutics. So I'm starting to build facts that show you that in fact this is more than just superstition or a buzzword or something a marketer built up. This is actually truthfully science. And in America, we have even passed a law with the help of the FDA, the National Institutes of Health, and hundreds of doctors. And in this law, number 103-417, it states, the use of nutritional supplements prevents disease, promotes wellness, and reduces long-term health care costs, are safe, and increase the longevity and quality of life. That's a law. Now that is what doctors should be posting by the side of their picture, right next to their receptionist, so that people can start to get the hint that science has documented there's more to medicine than just a shot or a pharmaceutical drug. Ingredients that have anti-aging labels attached to them include arginine, coenzyme Q10, resveratrol, N-acetylcysteine, milk thistle, maitake and shiitake mushrooms, and ginseng, and rebuild aging tissues while the most powerful antioxidants in the world, from dark, healthy chocolate, neutralize free radicals. What that means is this. These are the ingredients you're going to find in the capsules. These are the ingredients that are going to make increased longevity and quality of life true. These are all published in medical journals to actually say what they will do, not what they could do. In addition to that, for the first time, you're taking these powerful anti-aging ingredients and we're delivering them to the cell where they can actually do some work. See, when you take a mineral and you swallow it, it's kind of like a ground up rock. And it doesn't really get inside the cell. It passes through and out to the toilet, most of it. So you know that minerals don't get into the bloodstream hardly, and if they do, they barely get to the cell. But antioxidants are different. They are so desired by the cell that they magnetically draw them to the cell and actively transport them into the cell where they can neutralize free radicals. Now, if that antioxidant, called dark chocolate, actually is paired with these ingredients, like you get in the capsule form, the antioxidants will take these with it into the cell. Now you're getting anti-aging at the cellular level where all healing really occurs. Science reports the aging process can be prevented or reversed. Again, preponderance of scientific evidence, meaning the Journal of Clinical Investigation has reported that you can regenerate damaged tissues. New England Journal of Medicine, again, says you can prevent symptoms of aging and rejuvenate deteriorated organs. National Academy of Sciences says you can reverse symptoms of aging. Anti-Aging Therapeutics Journal says that amino acids, like arginine, which is in the capsule product, and antioxidants, like the cocoa, which is the finest of antioxidants, improve the quality and longevity of life. That's pretty credible stuff. If I were to summarize what I just said up there, because you don't have to memorize all of that, it's written in the book, it's in the videotapes, what you need to say is, the finest science sources in the world have published that dark chocolate and the anti-aging ingredients can turn back the hands of time. It's been proven. We're going to look at a little bit more of that. UCLA Medical School says the daily use of antioxidants can add 10 healthful years to your life. Who wants 10 extra healthful years? Who wants 10 years that aren't healthful? Look at that. And there's not a hand up. You know, at the last meeting, I got to tell you, one guy raised his hand. I said, "Are you a masochist?" And he looked up and said, "Oh, yeah." So anyways, if you want to be mean to yourself, then go ahead and be that way. But we want 10 extra healthy years, don't we? Now, this is the main reason we age prematurely. Again, for you to think about, to ponder about, and summarize when we're all done here. Damage from free radicals destroy cells. That's the problem. The solution is antioxidants prevent or reverse this damage one cell at a time. So it doesn't happen in 5 minutes, but it does start to take place in 5 days, even more so in 5 weeks, and permanently makes changes in 5 months. So with that in mind, let's take a look at what a free radical looks like. I'm looking here in a microscope at a red blood cell. That's a healthy red blood cell. Now, the average cell is attacked 10,000 times an hour by free radicals, which cause 85% of diseases. This is a microscope picture of that cell being attacked by free radicals. This little spot is a free radical, and it is puncturing this cellular membrane by stealing 1 electron. So, we steal 1 electron, and the contents start to pour out or trickle out, and it slowly, slowly dies. So, if I say that's a free radical, and that's a free radical, and that's a free radical, whenever 1 free radical steals 1 electron, not only does it puncture the cell, but the results are that 2 more free radicals are produced. And they'll go puncture the cell, and each one of them will produce 2 more. And they'll produce 2 more. And they'll produce 2 more. It's starting to sound like network marketing, isn't it? No one's offended by that, are you? Okay, good. With that in mind, you get this massive cascade of momentum. In this case, it's damaging momentum. So, keep that in your mind. That is what free radicals are doing. Puncturing, damaging, stealing 1 electron, causing it to rupture the membrane of a healthy cell. Now, in your life, these are some of the average summaries of what you will spend your lifetime doing. 3.5 years eating, 12 years watching TV, 2.5 years talking on the telephone, unless you're in network marketing. 2 weeks kissing. Did you hear any men sighing? It was all women. It was all women, and it wasn't a happy sigh. It was like, oh, is that all? 12 years non-stop talking. You will produce 200 billion new red blood cells every day. 200 billion every day. It's a miracle, this temple you live in, isn't it? That was for you. You'll have sex an average of 2,581.3 times. It's always the women that get the .3. You'll blink 415 million times. You'll get new skin every month. You'll get a new skeleton every 4 years. You'll produce enough hair cells in a day to grow a single strand of hair 39 inches long, or a meter a day. Listen, you can hear it growing. Listen. Oh, no. That's a bald guy and it's growing in his nose. Because, you know, if it doesn't grow here, it's definitely here or here, right, guys? I know. I have to have my back shaved too. In general, everything you are or have is less than just a few years old. Everything, every cell in your body is brand new all the time. So why the sagging? Why the wrinkling? Why the blurriness? The problem is that free radicals gum up the duplication process. Remember the VHS tape story? That's why we have all this damage, because otherwise we'd be duplicating ourselves perfectly. Did you know in the year 1900 the average person lived to be 48 years of age? Average. Today, average is 76. And as of 2 weeks ago, the medical research published a study that said women no longer exceed the lifespan of men. They live to be the same age now. And the reason is why? Working harder. Actually, the census records use the word stress. Women have more stress and they're not living as long as they did anymore. Men have caught up a little bit. Does that mean that men are the problem? I knew, you see, you can read anything you want into statistics, can't you? But the interesting thing is that we're both gaining a little bit older, and they came out and said 78 is the average for both men and women now. Medical science says if you minimize stress and supplement, you can live to be 100 years old. So that's kind of the goal for what we're looking at into the future. Scientific review of healthy chocolate as an anti-aging supplement comes from numerous sources. Harvard, Journal of American Medical Association, New England Journal of Medicine, American College of Cardiology, Archives of Internal Medicine, Journal of American College of Nutrition, Critical Care Nursing, U.S. Department of Agriculture. It goes on and on. This is only a few of them. There's thousands of publications. The take-home message is, and if I were memorizing one sentence about the science, it would be, the finest scientific institutions in the world are routinely publishing studies about nutritional supplements and anti-aging. And by the way, 90% of all anti-aging supplements are antioxidants. And what's the finest antioxidant? Dark, healthy chocolate, which has the highest ORAC rating. Science Daily in the year 2007 published this. Health benefits of cocoa are so striking that it may rival penicillin and anesthesia in terms of importance to public health. Anesthesia? Penicillin, I thought those were legendary. Well, this is from Harvard Medicine, and it says we're that important. And when you recognize this is the cutting edge of prevention, as well as turning back the hands of time, it may very well be that important. And I'll tell you, there's some people I've seen in this room who have used its benefit from weight loss to pain relief to anti-aging, who will tell you it is the most important part of medicine for them. Prevention magazine has a Dr. Teitelbaum, and he reports, quote, eating a small square of dark chocolate 3 to 4 times a week, we liked it 3 to 4 times a day, 3 to 4 times a week may be 25 times as effective as taking statin drugs for preventing heart disease. Wow, let's take a quick look at that. Dark chocolate, then, is a natural alternative to the second most prescribed drug in the world, called a statin. It's for lowering cholesterol. It comes under names like Xocai, Lipitor. Pharmacists fill over 45 million prescriptions a year for Lipitor alone. You're talking about 100 million prescriptions of something that lowers cholesterol. It destroys 25% of your liver's function in the process, and it only works for 2 years, and then your body adjusts to it and they have to give you something else. Oh, wait a minute, there's chocolate. Yeah. Harvard reports dark chocolate helps lower blood pressure, prevent diabetes and heart disease, and the way it does it is, it can lower cholesterol, it dilates the blood vessels so they're no longer clogged, and it helps in this as an artery and a cutaway section of it. It helps not allow the clogging to occur in the first place. And realize that these kind of fats are what we call oxidized fats. They're free radicals. What do dark chocolate and what do anti-aging components like to get rid of? Free radicals. Can it literally take one particle or one free radical cell at a time and neutralize it? Yes, that's exactly what we're talking about, because here's an artery. The yellow is fats. It accumulates on the sides of the arteries when there's damage. It's inflammatory, meaning it swells up so it has somewhere to cling on to, and it's all free radical damage, including when the blood sticks together forming a clot, clogging it completely. Dark chocolate can help reduce the cause of that. It's called inflammation. And they've identified 85% of all chronic debilitating diseases to be caused by inflammation. And free radicals are the trigger that this inflammatory response works by. Here's 4 medical journals that document dark chocolate can help reduce inflammation. Does that mean it helps with the arteries in your heart? Yeah. How about your brain? Yeah. How about every organ of your body? How about your skin? It opens the blood vessels up so that they deliver more oxygen, nutrients, and blood flow. Causes of aging include stress, overexertion and injury, toxins that build up in the body, inactivity. Did you ever think about inactivity causing problems? In fact, there was a study done that said people who watch TV burn less calories watching TV than when they're asleep. Holy cow, we're training ourselves to have these problems, aren't we? In addition, you've got hormone balances that cause aging, enzyme reduction, cellular damage. So by age 40, we're producing only 5% of some of our essential hormones. Now, men have no idea that that occurs in women, but some women at age 40 can tell you stories about what happened to the 95% of the hormones, and some can't. Starting at age 30, I gotta tell you this story, don't I? So I'm sitting around at a dinner table last night, and it's a nice group of this kind of organization, and the question has been on this woman's mind for hours by now. Everything's over, we're all the way done, we're at dinner, it's almost midnight. She finally says, privately, can I ask you a question? I said, sure. Dead serious, heavy weight of the world on her face. I'm 52, and I haven't had a period in 3 years, and I've been on your anti-aging products now for almost a month. I started menstruating again. What happened? And I said, well, you've turned back the hands of time. 3 years. So I thought that was funny, ha ha ha. And then another woman that was sitting there goes, "That's not the question you want to ask." And she goes, "Yes, it is." "No, it isn't. Ask him the real question." "I don't want to ask the question." "You do too. Ask him the question." "I'm not asking the question." You know what the question was? "Does that mean I can get pregnant?" I says, "You guys have just proven more than anybody else that we're turning back the hands of time." Now, if you're 52 and you've already gone through the change of life, you're not going to get pregnant again. On the other hand, if you don't want to deal with what she doesn't want to deal with, if you know what I mean, women, they don't want that period every month, all you have to do is cut the amount of anti-aging capsules in half. But what a terrific story. 3 weeks and 3 years. That's pretty good. That's pretty darn good. There's a lot of other jokes there. I just shouldn't tell them. Well, I don't know. How many men are here? It's only like 1/10 of the audience. We could do a woman-to-woman with Dr. Pedersen group right now, couldn't we? And I'm telling you, you're the ones that are going to get so much wonderful benefit out of this. First of all, we see the anti-aging capsules soften and smoothen the skin. We see people that have told me they just feel like they have Sprite in their brain. It's open and they have intelligent thought all the time and they have energy. And one lady stood up last night and said, "I feel like a bottle of champagne all shook up. Just pop the cork and I'll explode." You know, so I've been hearing that there's more to this than just stuff we can measure. And it makes me delighted because I've seen many, many, many women. I got to tell you one more girl story. So I'm in the room and it's like this. And there's about 30 people around me and they're all asking questions and I'm signing the book. And from the back door, the door busts open and a lady just waves her arms and yells clear across the room so everyone could hear, "Dr. Pedersen! Dr. Pedersen! I just have to thank you!" And she comes running. Like there's this inner tube of people around me, and she doesn't even see him, and she's coming right at me full speed, and she yells at the top of her lungs, "Thank you, thank you, thank you for making me pregnant." There's a guy in the back of the room going, "Me too, me too." I didn't make either one of them pregnant, but we did turn back the hands of time, and we got them on a healthy behavior. And she happened to get one of the early batches of these anti-aging products and somehow did the black market deal and kept them going for 3 or 4 months. And she wasn't able to get pregnant for a very long time, and she was. And she was so happy she came and told everybody. So are we turning back the hands of time? Well, it appears so in a lot of women. With that in mind, starting today, you can take the anti-aging capsules and you're giving your body what it needs to rebuild itself, to restore itself, clear down to the DNA level. At the same time, the chocolate is neutralizing this free radical damage. It's a great 1-2 punch. Now let's take a look at this, because did you know our brains shrink 25% in size and function by the time we reach 70 years of age? How do we know this? Okay, anybody in here 70? Yeah? Have you forgotten where you put your keys the last year? Last month? Last week? Last hour? You get the point, right? Okay, so here's the deal. This is a brain scan, and this outer layer here is the skull, and this is the brain in the inside. And what's happened is free radicals were allowed to accumulate in this brain 1 cell at a time. The free radical stole an electron, damaged that cell, stole another one, and over 70 years, 25% of that brain has become hollowed out. Somebody said it looks like Batman. But the point is that the brain scan indicates that a good portion of this brain has literally shrunken because free radicals steal just 1 cell at a time. I mean, that's not very much, is it? Since we kill 1 million brain cells by getting drunk one night, right? And nobody sees that difference in you the next day. Or do they? Or maybe the next month. But you can see over time how just a few cells being damaged can add up to this kind of damage. So let's take a look in what we call an MRI scan. It stands for magnetic resonance imaging. And we're shooting a magnetic current around this brain, and we're actually being able to measure the differences in activity in the different tissues of the brain. Where it's yellow, there's a high activity of cognition or thinking going on. Where it's red, that's the highest level. So you've got all of this activity in the brain. The frontal part of the brain is where your cognition for cause and effect and creativity takes place. These are two normal scans. Now let's take a look at someone with Parkinson's disease. Their brain is much, much less active, 10 times less active. No red at all, hardly even a hint of red. Less areas are active. But then let's give that Parkinson's patient a large dose of antioxidants and scan the brain again. And look what happens. In very short amount of time, the arteries of the brain are dilating. More fluid in the form of blood is being delivered to the brain. More oxygen is thus being delivered. And the activity level of even a Parkinson's damaged brain is increasing. If you looked at this scan and knew this was normal, this was Parkinson's, we gave you a treatment and then you got this, you'd say, we're reversing some damage of aging. So do you have to have one of those brain scans at 70 to show that you're 25% reduced? No, because a lot of people don't lose brain cells, but they're the ones that keep antioxidants on an hourly basis in their body at a higher level than the free radicals. So premature aging originates in a single cell and is caused by a free radical damaging that cell. Remember this picture? Because that's the one that's real. Most people don't know what free radical attack looks like. So let's look at what it looks like on your skin. I'm looking now at a microscope photograph of skin. This is the basal level where the cells develop. And the next day that cell will be here, then here, then here, and the next day here, the next day here, until you get to the 28th day and you're on the surface where you can see it starting to flake off. So assuming you wash every day, you're washing off a layer of cells that 28 days earlier were down here. Yet if you get damage from the sun, and it causes DNA damage in one cell, let's say that one right there, let's say that one turns cancerous. It's going to reach out and damage every cell it can touch, and free radical damage spreads twofold everywhere it goes. This is what cancer looks like in skin cells. All those black cells started out only in one cell, but it spreads. Free radical damage steals bone cells the same way. This is a microscope picture of what we call a bone scan, and you can see normal bone, and the density is pretty good. But if I allow a free radical to steal one electron at a time, one bone cell dies. And every day that goes on, and after 40 years, you could have hollowed out bone like this. So this is what free radicals do to bone. They hollow it out. This is my explanation of how to explain to 5th graders how antioxidants work. So I know you're much higher educated than that, but bear with me. Antioxidants and free radicals have a unique chemistry. It's very simple. The free radical is like a warm, sticky marshmallow on a stick over the fire. You've done that before, right? And you've made s'mores. You dip it in the chocolate, you crush up the graham crackers and sprinkle it on and it sticks, and then you have this wonderful s'mores, right? Well, the free radical is the warm, sticky marshmallow. If you put it on your hands, it will react with your hand. Yeah, it'll burn it. It'll also stick to it. If you drop that warm, sticky marshmallow on your pant leg, it will bond with your pant leg. It will react with the cloth. Yeah, it'll destroy it, won't it? Now, if we were to take that chocolate and melt it on there, or we just crushed up a graham cracker and sprinkled it on there, the free radical, or warm sticky marshmallow, would find something else to stick with, and it would then be neutral. So you'd have something like this, where the warm sticky marshmallow is coated by the antioxidant, and it wants to bind with the antioxidant, and the antioxidant gives it something to bind with. It's now neutral. You can pick that up. It won't stick to you. You can drop it on your pants. It won't bond with your pants anymore. It's permanently neutralized. So free radicals are like warm, sticky marshmallows. Antioxidants come in and coat it so it can't do any damage. It can also reverse some of the damage by coating actively aggressive free radicals. To look at this in an electron microscope, we see a cancer cell. These spicules, you see these little fibers going out here? Like little swords, those are the free radicals stabbing into the next cell. Spreading, spreading, spreading all the time. The body uses two systems to neutralize these free radicals. One is the antioxidant nutrient system, where you have to eat antioxidants. They enter the bloodstream and neutralize free radicals in the bloodstream. The other system is the antioxidant enzyme system produced by your body. Your body produces really potent antioxidants called glutathione. Now, if you were to activate both of these at the same time, you'd have a very powerful defense against just about anything that was caused by a free radical. Well, what's the finest antioxidant available? Healthy chocolate. So you've got number one covered. Now, by taking the capsules in anti-aging capsules, you're going to have NAC and arginine. Both of those trigger and stimulate your body to produce its own glutathione. You now have tenfold defense against free radicals.